Hello people, and how are you guys doing? It's RDF from FMSCOUT, and in this video we have a fun experiment to test out. Across Twitter and various social media platforms, there has been a joke going around about Arsenal potentially getting relegated because of their poor form recently. So what we have decided to do is to try and find out what happens if Arsenal really got relegated, and we're going to simulate that in Football Manager. We'll simulate about 5 seasons, not just to see how they got on in the Championship, but also how they recovered from being relegated years later. Of course, Arsenal realistically are probably too good to get relegated in real life, but that doesn't stop us from having an imagination and wondering what would really happen, so this video is purely for fun. Arsenal are a very good team on Football Manager and they're likely to get promoted straight away, so what I'd have tried to do is add some realism to this fantasy world by making their job a little more difficult. Of course, if Arsenal get relegated, their key players and staff are likely to leave. So what I did is got rid of some of their key players, about 5 of them, and also the manager. So if we click on their squad, Aubameyang has left for Real Madrid. Of course, playing for Arsenal in the Championship, he's just going to be too good. We also got rid of Alexandre Lacazette. He is currently at Atletico Madrid, another one. If we kept him at Arsenal, it's probably going to make their life a little bit too easy. We decided to get rid of some of their world-class players. Bernd Leno is another one, the German goalkeeper. We have moved him back to Leverkusen. I couldn't find a club that realistically he would go to in real life, so I just flung him back to Leverkusen. Hector Bellerin has been rumoured to sign for Barcelona for many years now. It's finally happened. Arsenal have got relegated. Of course, Hector Bellerin probably will be looking to leave and Barcelona is the chosen club. And finally, Thomas Partey has left for Juventus. He was also rumoured to join Juve before he did join Arsenal in real life. According to this game, he didn't play for Arsenal at all. He went from Atletico to Juventus. So it looks like there's going to be no Partey anymore at Arsenal. And also, we have got rid of the manager. As we can see here, they currently have no manager. They are looking for a new manager. They also have no assistant manager. Again, making their life a little bit more difficult. But before I carry on with this crazy, pointless but fun and exciting experiment, make sure you hit the like button on this video. If this video gets a lot of likes, I will be doing more experiments similar to this. Also hit the subscribe button and leave your recommendations down in the comments. Now that is the intro out the way, let's get started with this crazy experiment. So here we are on day 1, and what we're going to do is simulate about 5 years, 5 seasons. So we're going to check their progress if they manage to get out of the Championship first time asking. Also, once they get to the Premiership, how are they going to progress? How are they going to improve? Are they going to get back into European football? Currently, right now, they are in the Championship, but as you can also see, they are still in the Europa League, so that could be a little bit fun. See how they get on in the Europa League whilst they're in the Championship. Their key player now is Willian, very good player for the Championship. Of course, I didn't want to get rid of too many players at once. Hot prospect at the moment is Tyrese John Jules. Very interesting. I would have thought it would have been Saka. Clearly not. So they will start off their Championship journey with a tough away game at Millwall. They will finish their Championship season at home against Rotherham. So it could be fun. We'll get to see who they appoint as their next manager now that Arteta has left. We get to see who they signed over 5 years also, and who they managed to sell, and all that other good stuff. They are currently predicted to finish 5th, which is possibly wrong. They should be predicted to finish 1st, but at the moment they are predicted to finish 5th. But enough of that, let's sim 5 years. So we will be in 2025. We're going to sim to the very last day of the 5th season. So here we are after 5 years. We're on the 17th of May 2025, and as you can see, Arsenal are currently 5th in the Premier League. So it looks like they just got back to the normal routine. finishing in European places, not quite making the Champions League spot. Their team at the moment doesn't look too bad, but what we want to check first, of course, is how they got on in the Championship. This was the first season in the Championship, and as you can see, Arsenal completely walked the league. Clearly, their team was still too strong for the Championship. They played 46 games. They won 41 of those games, they drew 4, and they only lost 1 throughout the whole season at home to Brentford. They managed to score 105 goals, only conceding 26, a very good record in the Championship, and getting 127 points. That is obviously a record in the Championship. So if we check who they signed in their first season, wow, they signed Robert Snodgrass from West Ham for 3.8 million. They managed to sell Callum Chambers. They sent Mustafi and Papadopoulos. I should have just said Socrates. They sent those 2 defenders out on loan. And of course, a few youngsters went out on loan also. I think we can check the staff, who they managed to bring in. They managed to bring in Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce was the manager of Arsenal, with Steve Agnew as his assistant coach. Very surprising appointment there. I'm an Arsenal fan, and that doesn't sound very interesting whatsoever. But as we saw, they did make it back to the Premier League. First time asking, how did they do in the first season in the Premier League? Well, they finished 6th, which isn't too bad. That's not too bad. They played 38, they won 18 of their games, drawing 12 and losing 8. So kind of similar to their results in real life. They placed 6, not quite making the Champions League spots. European spot though is always welcome the season after getting promoted. The season after that, guess where they finished? They finished 8th, so they actually decreased. They went a few steps backwards. They only won 15 games that campaign, losing 12, almost conceding as much as they scored. Again, sounding like real life. It's not sounding very good for Arsenal fans at the moment. The 4th season in the Premier League, Arsenal finished 5th, again not making that Champions League spot, but they were equal or level points with Manchester United. 1 win or 1 more draw, they would have made that Champions League spot, but unfortunately they missed out and only finished in 5th place. And check Norwich out, finishing 6th, getting that European spot as well. I'm guessing they got promoted with us, I'm not too sure. The 5th and final season of the Premier League that we simulated, Arsenal again are in 5th place. Now 37 games have been played, which means we have 1 more game to play, but that would not make a difference. 5th place is cemented for them. This time they managed to score 73 goals and conceding 47, winning 19 games in that campaign. So it looks like Arsenal still cannot make that Champions League spot. They just can't work their way back into the Champions League. Life in the Championship was easy. Did it affect them too much? Probably not. It might have hurt their reputation a little, but it certainly didn't affect where they finished in the Premier League years later. Now let's check their transfer history over the 5 years. In the first season, they bought Robert Snodgrass. In the second season, they made a few more signings. They got João Mario on a free transfer. They got Karius from Liverpool on a free transfer. Luke Ayling from Leeds on a 10.5 million deal. William Jose, which is a good signing from Real Sociedad. They also got Nandez from Cagliari, which is a very good signing, and as you can see, he's still at Arsenal and he's currently valued at £58 million. He is a world-class midfielder according to the media description. Arsenal also got the left back from Liverpool, Tsimikas, I think that's how you pronounce his name, on loan, and they also bought Sandro Tonali from Brescia on an 18 million deal. Loftus-Cheek on loan from Chelsea. They got Kahneman, I'm not sure how to pronounce this guy's name either. They also got Duvan Zapata for £32 million and Nathan Ake for £13 million. So in their first season in the Premiership, they got a bit spend happy. They spent a lot, 142 million, but they did make 90 million. How they made that? Well, they sold Lucas Torreira for £45.5 million and Nicolas Pepe, who has had a very disappointing Arsenal career so far. He was sold for 17.5 million. So there's a huge loss there because we signed Nicolas Pepe for £75 million. Kolasinac also left for £13 million. Cedric left for £11 million, which is a good deal for Arsenal in all honesty. Third season, they spent a little more. They got Chukwueze from Villarreal, Hamed Yuna Traore from Sassuolo, a few youngsters here. I think this might be, oh no, this ain't a youngster, this is Levi Lumeka. He was signed from Troyes. They also got Inakai Pena from Espanyol, a very decent goalkeeper. Loftus-Cheek on loan again. The young left back from Juventus. Babakul Kamara from Bayern Munich, a very good deal, that one. Julian Draxler from Chelsea, that is very surprising for £18 million. They also got FMSCOUT from Hoffenheim. This is a midfielder I like a lot. The only thing that disappoints me is his off-the-ball movement, but we're not focusing on him. We're going to focus on Arsenal. They also got Alex Merritt from Napoli. Transfer out, they sold William Jose the season after. Mohamed El Nene also left. Karius left. João Mario left. So a few players they signed, they sold a season after. Granit Xhaka has finally left Arsenal, and William made his move to Hertha Berlin. Fourth season signing, they got Yusuf Poulsen from Juve for £14 million. That could potentially have been a bargain. Frank Kessie from Manchester City on loan. Hakim Ziyech from Chelsea on a £25.5 million deal, absolute bargain. And Tony Robinson from Nantes, so he left Fulham. Yep, it looks like he left Fulham, went to Brighton, found his way to Nantes, went to Arsenal, and then finally at Southampton. Arsenal also signed Ben Wilmot, probably not the caliber of players that we are looking for. I mean, he is a decent defender, very decent. And we also signed Max Aarons from Norwich. Finally, Max Aarons decided to leave Norwich a few years later on a £38 million, potentially going to £51 million. Who did they sell? Well, they sold Julian Draxler to Porto. They also sold Nathan Aki to Porto, and Pablo Mari went to Dynamo Kiev. Mavropanos, Saliba, Aylin, they managed to leave the club also, probably not getting a lot of games. And in the final season, they got Paulo Dybala on loan from Liverpool. Crazy. Also Naby Keita on loan from Liverpool. We also got Kolarov, but not that. Oh my god, what a player. He is Serbian, and he is not the left back Kolarov that we all know. Who did they sell in the final season? They got rid of Rob Holding. They also got rid of Joe Willock, so some of the original players that were there from the beginning. They also sold Mario Gaspar, and some of these guys' names I just do not know. Oh, Cameron Dawson, I think, is a goalkeeper. Yes, he's 29 years of age. We signed him probably as a backup. Those are all the player transfers that Arsenal made. Were there any manager casualties after Steve Bruce? Yes, he did leave. In the third season, he got sacked, and Vieira, took charge in the season 2022-2023. He didn't last long, so I celebrated literally for no reason. We got rid of Patrick Vieira, and then we got Thierry Henry. So it looked like Arsenal just started to appoint previous players. First it was Mikel Arteta. They gave it a break with Stevie Bruce, and then they returned with Patrick Vieira, got rid of him, and now they got Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry is still the manager of the club. The club captain at the moment is Sandro Tonali, vice captain is Nandez, and the key player is also Sandro Tonali. How did Arsenal do in the Europa League? In the first season, whilst they were in the Championship, Chelsea managed to knock them out in the second knockout round stages, losing 3-0 away at Stamford Bridge to Chelsea. So they got knocked out. I'm not sure if Arsenal actually won any trophies. Nope. In the second season, their first season in the Premier League, they got knocked out in the FA Cup by Liverpool. In the EFL Cup, they got knocked out by Everton, another Liverpool club. In the third season, they did manage to reach the semi-final of the Europa League, so kind of an achievement, but they got knocked out to Lazio. The 2-0 away defeat is what cost them in that competition. In the FA Cup, they got knocked out by Aston Villa at home, and in the EFL Cup, they got knocked out in the semi-finals by Manchester City. In the fourth season, they had no European football again, but in the FA Cup, they got knocked out in the third round by Leicester. That is the very first round of that trophy. Very disappointing, but they did end the season very, very strong. I'm guessing this is around the time Thierry Henry took over, and now we are in the final season where again they got knocked out in the Europa League. They got knocked out again in the second knockout stages, but this time to Valencia. A 1-0 defeat at the Mestalla is what costed them. In the FA Cup, they got knocked out in the fifth round, getting knocked out by Liverpool once again. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. As you can see, Arsenal, they made their way to the Championship, but then they came straight back up, and ever since getting back into the Premier League, they just keep either finishing in the Europa League places or just outside of the Europa League places. They haven't worked their way into the Champions League, and they also didn't manage to win a trophy in the 5 years. But that is it for this video. If you are new, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, also leave a comment. It has been a pleasure. I will see you soon, guys, and please stay safe.